Okay. Till yesterday we have seen some of the features what are we are going to interact with the Windows in the Visual Studio, right? So we are start the actual training sessions like how to work with the components, PEGA programs, each one of it now. So I'm just closing yesterday's project. I'll start with Windows Forms. Now, each one of the project item we will discuss one by one. So I'm taking a new project. Okay, here if you see project has created with the Windows form name, and we are going to create one project item here. If you want to create any project item, like we are going to click on add and new item, or we can directly click on using the shortcut keys Control Shift A. I mean, if you are handy in using shortcuts, we can directly use it. I'm just clicking new item, and here we are going to work on any project with using these adapters and containers and these Windows forms. Each one in which scenario we are going to use, we will see, and window forms. I'm just giving window form, clicking add. If you see in demo sessions we have discussed when we are going to use window forms, I told you, right? In RDA there are two types of RPA here. Like one is robotic process automation, so and another one is robotic desktop automation. We will define wherever the human intervention is necessary in those solution process, we will define it as an RDA, and wherever there is no human intervention, we will define those processes under RPA. So RPA, like similar to RDA process, the process wise, whereas in RDA, we are going to provide some user interface to interact with the user to provide some input output information. Output will be generating by bot only, but whereas input information will be feeding by the human. So if you want to create any user form, like for a user to interact, we will define this window form. Okay, once we have selected this window form, once you go to toolbox, you are going to see all the list of items available in the toolbox related to window form only. Okay, if you go to automation, those are different again. We are not going to see a text box button label kind of thing, because the automation is active. So yesterday we discussed whichever the form, component is available, those relevant components visible in the toolbox. So I'm going to window form, and I'm going to see a relevant components available related to design form. So if I want to create any label information or any text box information, all these things we can find it here. We can define our own window form, like whatever we want as per our requirement. But what are the components we can use, I'll show you. First is label, text boxes, combo box. Again, I'm taking some label, button, checkbox, date time, data grid view, radio button, group box, PDF viewer, like this. Whenever we are working with PDFs, we are going to see this PDF viewer. Just to view existing PDF data, we are going to use PDF viewer. And rich text box, like this. Many images, error provider information, any such data we can see from the components we are going to use and drag those things. We can fulfill our design form as per our the requirement. So if you see here, I have taken one label and one text box and many other components, but I haven't given any names. But to understand from the end user point of view, we have to define its name as well as its functionality, what to do. So all these things we will define it. So to change that information, like first click that particular component, whichever you want to define the properties, select it and go to the properties window. You will see whatever the selection you have made, the relevant properties information you are going to see here. Or either you can select here in the window form. You see the information, it is changing it here. If I select text box, it is showing text box one. If I select label one, if it is selecting label one. So if you want to select any of the other components, you can either select in the form itself, or you can just drop down, select the drop down here, and you can select the available component, and you can change the information related to that component. Okay, first I'm going to change that label information. See what are the components properties, like we can change it here. We can see here, generally we will not use most of the properties. We are going to use whatever required as per the development. I'm changing text, it is defined as label one, so I just changing it as username, something like. So if you see, the
Do we
username
have
has
multi-select
changed.
and
Sorry,
do we have multi-select option or attachment options also?
multi-select option means I didn't get you. Like checkboxes we
In,
have, we can
yeah,
do multiple
in
selections.
by drop down we are only selecting one value.
Okay,
But multi-select we can select two, three values, right?
yeah, we can select the functionality, we can see in the properties. So we are just changing the configuration of this component. Whereas if you go to the automation level, if you go to object explorer, whatever the label button or checkbox, right, combo
Hmm.
box. So for related to the combo box, we can see multiple properties, methods in events. In those, we can see whether we can select multiple selections here in this or not.
Okay. For both drop down or multi-select, it's a drop down or for the Windows phone.
Okay, we will see that as well if it is available. Well and good. There is no multi-selection here. Maybe if it is a different component, or if we define our own component in such a way, we can add the DLL and we can get that component here and we can add it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm selecting this username label field, and I'm changing the text property so that it will be visible to the end user, so that he can understand here the text he has to provide the username information. In other way, like if you see automation one, go to automation one and see properties like object explorer, that label one is still there. It didn't change that username information here, because we have changed only the visible text of property, so that it is showing in window form only. In developer's perspective, if you want to identify this one as username field and the second one is some other field, if we, for one or two labels we can understand while developing this is a username and this is some other field. But in if we have suppose like a 10 or 20 kind of labels in the same form, it is hard to identify which label belongs to which one. So in that scenario, we are going to change one more property value, which is selecting username field, and we are going to the property for name. Initially, we have changed the property for text, and we are going to change the property for name, LBL username. So the naming convention for label is LBL underscore. We'll prefix with that. Whenever we are going to see in automation, we can easily identify this is a label, and this is the username for label. Okay, and we are going to see the icon information also. Whenever it is showing this icons, we can easily identify this is label as well, this is radio button, and this is group box. When we are familiar with these icons, we can identify, or else we can prefix the naming convention, the standard following in every organization, prefixing particular naming conventions. For label, we are providing it as LBL underscore. Okay, so while using this information in the automation also, we are going to select that particular component here, and we are going to use properties methods and events, relevant properties methods and events. Mostly we will not use label information in the user form windows. Okay, because only we will interact with the text boxes, because it is only for visibility of end user to understand this field belongs to username. Okay, if we have any other requirement to use of label information, we can use it, relevant properties methods and events. Once you have extracted we can see many, but mostly like whatever the projects I have worked on, the label information will simply use it for visibility of end user. If we have any other requirement, we can go and select this particular properties and methods. I'll tell you how to use properties methods like in our automations, but for this label we are using only for just visibility purpose here. Okay, and if you want to put some information into the text box, the similar way, the properties whatever we have changed it for label, we are going to change some of the properties for text box as well. So I'm selected this text box, and I'm going to go into the properties window and changing the data here. It is showing as text box one. I'm changing it to txt underscore username, because this field I'm using it for username, to store some username information, and we are using this text box. In a similar way, I have given a text txt underscore username. Once I have changed that information there, I'm seeing this information here as well, txt underscore username. Okay, why we are using some text boxes, either to get text from the text box field, or to set the text from the text box field, right? So in a windows form, if we select the text box, I'm not giving any uh, data inside it, because in text field it is showing as empty. You see, in text field it is showing as empty. If we give any such a text, it will be uh, say, setting it as a default text. See, I'm giving some enter username. It will be sitting as a default text. We can, I mean, change the color of it. We can show this information to end user in a lighter color so that he can understand some whatever the window forms we are defining with some designs and all, we can enter. But if we enter such a text, it will be default. So to get the text and to set the text into the text box, we are seeing this, we are using the properties of text username, and we are using property called text. So we are using property called text, so that as we discussed yesterday, to set to enter some text into the text field, we are connecting this flow, and to get the text from the text field, we are using this flow. Okay, I'll show you once I'll execute this one. So I'm not giving any text here by default. So for button also, I'll just click this one. I'll update some information here. Button, I'm just giving it as a name as click, and I'm changing it as name to BTN click. If you want to change any colors also, we can do four color or text color. If you want to change, we can change it. We can just select this one and select whichever we want. Okay, we are changing the color for this text. And font also, if you want to change, we can select the properties and we can change it. Okay, based on our requirement, we can just select the alignment of the text, images if you want to color, foreground color, all these things. Okay, if you want to disable it, if you want to enable it, once a user clicked one time, if you want to disable after it, we can use the properties like disable. Whenever we want, we can make it as enable. All those functions we can do. So button, I have changed the name to BTN rain, BTN click. So I'm just selecting this button and going to the events and click event. For events, methods and properties, based on the design block colors also, we can identify. If you see, for all events we are getting in green color. For all properties we are getting in dark blue color. For all methods we are getting in light blue color. Based on three identification also, we can say whether it is a property or event or method. Okay, these three indications we can say: green color, these colors. Okay, what I have done here, like I just uh, given some button click event and some property of text for this text box. What it is doing here, once it is clicking that, once any whoever using this one, once we have clicked this button, this text box, it is having some text. We are not defining any how to get the text or how to set the text here. Okay, I'm just taking one variable from toolbox. I'm taking one string variable. A variable is nothing but a uh, I mean whatever the variable we are defining, it is giving a name to the specific location where we can identify using that name. We can get the information from that storage space where, and even we can change the value from that location. Okay, because by defining the type of the variable, we'll define the data types. By defining the type of the variable, we can store the particular value only in that variable location. Okay, I'm just taking one string variable where I can store any number or any text into this variable. Okay. For variable, if I select this one, str, for string properties, like we are using str underscore username. I'm just passing the value from here into the text box. Mr. I'm just giving some Harsha. I'm just giving some value as Harsha, so that whatever the value it is holding in this variable, it is going to save it in a text box here. Text box here. So I'm just executing this one. For execution, we can see two start buttons right here. There is a difference between each start button here. I'll tell you. So it is building the project. If we have any errors in the project, it will show at the time of building itself. If you don't have any errors, it will start executing the project. So we have defined a simple flow initially related to window form. It is just whenever we are clicking that uh, like button, it is getting the information from the variable and it is placing it in a window form text box. That's why it seems it got stuck. I'm starting Visual Studio once again. Sorry. Let it start. Meanwhile, I mean, any one of you tried installing PEGA Robotic Studio? Did you receive that link?
I'm not yet. I haven't received any link actually.
Okay. Okay. In that group, team has already shared that link, or
Can you add
just try to
me?
ping.
Can you add my number into that group?
I'm not sure uh, that for that. Like, can I'll ping you the number in this chat so that you can enter your details there, so that they will add nine
Oh,
six 525 32 753. Yeah. Okay. I have already shared with the team all required files. Please let me know if you are still missing any files. I have already shared the ISO file as well. This Visual Studio got started, and we'll open the same solution. We'll start it executing this.
Uh, Actually, ISO file is missing in the drive link, so if you can let them know to upload, it will be fine.
Okay, okay. I have shared two versions of PEGA Robotic Studio, whereas Visual Studio also I have shared update 3 with the team. I have shared that Google Drive links. I will let them know like to share you once again.
Okay.
Yeah. Now if you see, uh, we have defined one window form and a username field and a text box, right? The code we have defined here below, whenever we click this button, it is automatically taking the information from this variable and it's going into the text box and placing the text here. Okay, I'm just putting one breakpoint. To put the breakpoint, right click on the execution link and select right click on the executing link and select the toggle breakpoint. So it will give this red circle here, so that whenever we are executing, it will stop the execution at that point and it will show like step by step execution. If we click F10 on the F11, we can see data flow and execution flow as well. When we go to the debug section, and we can see step into step over all these things. Whenever we started, it will show highlight these options here, so that we can see data flow and execution flow step by step. I'm just clicking this click. Whenever I click this click button, it will automatically trigger this flow, which means it will allow to start this flow and it will continue the execution. See, I'm just clicking this. Application is not running, it's taking time. So you see here the execution started here. So I have kept the breakpoint here, so it stopped here, and I'm just going to debug menu and clicking F10 or F11. F11 means we can see execution like data flow level. F10 means it will show only execution in execution links. Okay, so either we can go from debug menu and click F10 or F11, or we can use this option same here, shortcut icons here we have kept here, or either you can use your keyboard shortcuts F11, F10. I'm just clicking F11. Once clicked, this flow has started and it is taking the information from the variable, right? If you want to see the some value here, what is the value it is passing, you just place your cursor and you are going to see value. It will show, or either you can right click on it and add watch, and debug. Go to the debug and Windows, add watches. F10, F11, if we click, we are seeing the value in Harsha, as Harsha in the text box. Okay, from variable we have taken the value and we have in a text box here. So execution, and how many times we have clicked, that many times it will trigger this event. Once again I clicked, and once again it has started the flow. It is a static value, whatever the value we have taken here in the username field, like it is a static value. But if you want to change the value, it has to be dynamic. And whenever end user is using entering some information, if you want to get that information to use in our process flow, we are using this property get text from this text field. In the same way how we have connected, in the same way we are going to get the text from there. I'm just disconnecting this one. I'm just using one dialog box. Message dialog, these are overridden methods. So we are taking the message dialog box to show some information to the end user. Whatever the text we are passing to this method, it is showing in a separate window form, like a pop-up it will show. And just selecting this is string message one parameter method, and we are passing that information, whatever the value entered into the text box. I'm just connecting here. So there is no connection at all in the execution flow, even if you have this one, it is not going to use anywhere. Whatever the connections we have provided and established properly, that flows only will be executing. If we disconnect this one, even if you start execution, the execution will fail, to continue the process. So we have to see wherever the connections is missing while we are deploying or while we are executing the flows. Okay, I have connected this text username field to show some message in the text box, dialog box. We have seen some get text from the variable. Now we are seeing like text from the your username, user name text field itself to Windows form, like show dialog box. I have given some value as mixture XYZ. I'm just clicking this, and it is showing in a dialog box says with it is displaying such way. So I have given a dialog box here, but whereas whatever the user entered some information in the text boxes, we are going into use in a different places as per our requirement. So whenever we are working with window form, if we have multiple window form in many places in our project, if you want to use a particular window form at the beginning or particular window form in the middle, or at the end, in such a scenarios, if you want to bring it front or hide it, or not to start at the beginning of the project, to perform such actions, we select the properties here related to window form, and we can select one property called start on project. Start on project as true. By default it is true. So whenever we are started the execution of the project, it is showing the window form. If we make it as false, if you make it as false, whenever we started this solution, it is not going to show this window. To start it manually in the automation flow, we have to use it like going to object explorer, window forms, show on started project true. If we show on startup project, right? If we set it as true, then again it will start that one. We can select this one. Wherever we want, we can make it as true, or if you want to make it as active, if we disable it, if you want to make it as active, activate. Okay, and whichever control we want to activate, we can pass that control to here, and we can activate. And if you want to bring it to front, bring to front, like hide, like this, as per our requirement, we can show use methods or properties. I mean, if we are having multiple applications, if you want this form to be active, and make the your end user has to enter some information so that it has to bring this form to uh, first position, then we'll use this bring to front.
What is the user start and project? Can you repeat again? Bring it friend
Start
means
on
the
projects.
form. Yeah.
Suppose if you have multiple applications, uh, I have opened this one. I have, say, suppose assume that I have window form here. On top of it, there are four other applications opened, which means Google Chrome or Visual Studio or Task Manager, anything. It has opened. So based on interaction, each one of it will go back, right? Only the active window or active application it will show up. So in such scenarios, in the flow itself, is there a need of user to enter some text into that? This form has to bring front. So automatically, when we use this method, even any other applications open at that in that particular flow, this window form will bring front. Okay, and this start and project start, if we set it to true, so that it will start the window form at the beginning of the project execution. If we make it as false, it will not I mean show that window form in the beginning. So manually we have in the process flow we have to use this method to start this window form. If you see, I'm just using this properties. Window form start as start and project start false. I have kept it. I'm just executing this one. It will not show this window form. So now the project has started. Even we are not able to see this window form. Okay, we are not able to see that window form execution. This is a, Visual Studio window form one, but whereas to click that button, the form is not visible.
So
To
for
stop
each
this
and
execution,
every automation
yeah,
file, we need to put the start and finish true.
no, wherever we need that form, we'll make it as start. If you don't want the application to launch and perform some action on it, we don't start that application at that time. Whenever we need, we will start it. If we are working continuously on that, we will keep that application open, or else we will close that application.
Okay. I mean, whenever we need a automation file to run, we need to put a start active, right? Start and button active.
No. Only start to start. We'll use either once or once, wherever we want. I didn't get you exactly. In each automation, we don't need.
Yeah,
I just want to
I
tell
want to
you.
know exact difference
Yeah,
between the start button and the bring start method.
bring to front.
Yeah.
Okay, bring to front method. Like one second, I'll show you this. I'm just hard coding some here. I'll just start this one. On top of it, I'll execute some other applications. I will hide this Windows form. I change it to true, right? I have changed the start and project to start true, so that it will start whenever the project started. And these two starts, right? The first green color start, it will start whenever we clicked this one. Wherever we have breakpoints in the execution flow, it will stop this one. In the execution flow, it will stop, and we can debug the process flow going step by step execution. But whereas the second start, it will use only in the scripts whenever we have I mean, we are writing our own script. If you want to debug that script flows, then we'll use this one. Whenever a script component comes, I will tell you. So I clicked this one. So I'm on top of it. I just entered. On top of it, I bought this application up. I'm just clicking F11. So I'm just clicking F11. Window form is behind it. Only the Visual Studio is now. See, it brings this application towards, and it has shown that information here. Okay, it will show I mean window form in the front view. Even
Okay, got
don't
it.
put it here. In backend only, it will perform the actions. Okay. Start on project start true or false means whether the application this window form has to start in the beginning or not.
Okay, got it. Thank
Okay. And window forms. If we see the window forms, we have defined these properties and we are using some flows right here. Every time we don't need to use this button click or whenever this event is nothing but a set of actions performed, and based on certain actions it has to process some flows, then only we'll use those events. If you see here for this button, events like click click happened, and font changed. Whenever we can in the flow itself we can change the font, or we can put some focus on it, focus true or false. If we use that such scenarios, then this automatically some actions has to happen that it will continue the flow. Like started, whenever this automation started, this has to continue like that. Some actions we'll use to make it clear for that. Text box, I'm taking some text box. So it's a rich text box. So yeah, I'll taking this. In the text box, if we click anywhere, then if you want to show the text box as ticked, or if you want to enter some information, please enter the username in that field. If you want to show some messages kind, so when that will happen, whenever this text box field got clicked. So those kind of actions and events we'll use in these scenarios. Okay, we'll use hardly like only few events, but whereas you have to understand like these events, whenever certain actions has to perform based on some interaction, then we are going to use these events, like button click event for combo box or checkbox checked, or for combo box selections, context menu changed, or we put some focus on it, or we lost the we once focus got lost, such interactions, the such scenarios, we will use these events based on scenario. When it comes, we are going to use that one. And for this uh, combo box, right, like we have to have some items in it. We are going to add some items, like if suppose if it is a state details, LBL, The details to enter some text in it. We are going to select this one. Configurations, I'm just doing it. CMB underscore state. There is a one more property called items here. For these items, I'm just selecting here. I'm just giving some details. Likewise, we can enter many. So that if you want to see this got added, just select this icon and click on edit items. You can see the list here. Either you can go into the properties or you can select here. While execution also, it will show the list here. I'm going and selecting this one. Once the button clicked, now I'm showing it. Combo box, right? It selected text. The property I have selected here, selected text. So whatever the text we have selected in the drop down, it will show it in a dialog box. Sorry. Madhya Pradesh. Toggle breakpoint. I have to use one more property, text property. So whenever we are using the text property, whatever the value resides inside it, it is going to show that information here. Okay. Okay. Likewise, relevant properties methods we are going to use as per our requirement in this flow. And whereas we have seen that combo box, If you see, there are a lot more properties available here, and those relevant properties methods. Not only these, and if you selected somewhere text, we once you have selected this property here, if you're going to see explore component more component properties, if you want this one explore more, you're going to see more here. Okay, one way to get more properties information according to our usage, we are going to click configure more types. I mean, we are going to expand it and we are going to use it, or we are going to select this component and we are going to select that particular property and we are going to click here, so that it will show more properties based on our requirement. We will use it, but as per requirement we'll explore more and we will search more to identify which control is suitable for our requirement. Like this date and rich box and checkbox and the data grid view, we are going to see in the next session. But for today we have seen like only few windows form, how to use windows form and what are the controls we might use, and configuration properties, how to set it, and the properties methods relevant only for few, and debug point we have seen to execute the step by step flow, and we will see more in detail in tomorrow session. We'll speed up this flow in tomorrow session. Okay. Yeah. If any information or any doubts, please let me know. I'll ask the team to share that ISO file which is missing. Please let me know if you have any doubts. You can type it here. If no doubt means we can wind up the session. Okay, someone is typing Prasad, Google Drive. Okay, I'll try to
Hello,
access this one.
Harsha,
Yeah,
just one thing. I mean, uh, if we want to read something, so we can go through the
yeah.
topics in PEGA PRPC link, right? PDN link with the PEGA robotics.
If you want, I have shared that this one also help.openspan.com.
Okay.
Help.openspan.com.
Openspan.com.
If
Okay.
you go to select particular version and openspan.com, which routes to help.roboticautomation.pega.com.
Okay. Okay.
Roboticautomation.pega.com. But if you enter help.openspan.com also, it will route here only.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Select type of whichever the topic you want. You just select. You'll get more descriptive information.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I think you have received. I'll try to open that link. Okay, Pega Robotic Studio installation guide. Uh, okay. Are you able to download this one and extract and try to install?
Yeah, I am able to download it, but
Did anyone try
installing I need to go
that
through
link?
that PDF. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Please try to install. If any issues, let me know. Even I'm going to share another set of installations. This works fine. If this doesn't work, I'll share one more installations software dump.
Okay, Harsh. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, anyone having any other doubts? If not having, so we can wind up the session. We'll meet on tomorrow.